We're back then with another Q&A video for Marvel's Avengers, but it's one with a twist. Now, it's on the back of a post we've had the last few Mondays on Reddit. It's by the Play Avengers mod team, it's official staff account, and it's a Monday questions and answers thread. And I've actually left a few questions in that thread myself, and I've never had an answer, and I've never actually seen where they answer these questions, if they do answer them at all, which is really pretty odd. It's not to say they're not answering them, maybe they're doing it somewhere and I've not actually seen them, but I've never actually seen answers to any of these threads. Now, I was looking through the one today and there was a lot of questions I actually knew the answers to, because reason being I spend a lot of time playing the game, reading Reddit and chatting to players as well. So looking through, about 90% of the questions were ones that I was actually able to answer, and the fact that I'm not certain we're going to get an answer from the Crystal Dynamics team, I figured I would actually do a video running over the questions and then answering them, and hopefully that will help out in case we don't get a response at all. But let's jump in and let's run through these. First question we have here is in regards to the community challenges. So why don't they show the progress on the community challenge, and do they plan to update that in future so we can see what the progress is on those? It is bugged, that's why the bar when you first log in isn't actually filling up, but I have checked and we are getting the nameplates that are associated with the community challenge. Imagine they will fix it in time, but rest assured you are still getting the nameplates that are associated with it. The next question we have is in regards to the loot that drops from the elite content, such as your vaults and your hives and so on. So it says, was this intentionally nerfed recently? My friends and I play on PC and lately I've been receiving mostly purples from running these at 100%. We are seeing the same results solo, and in a group on all heroes it's almost like the Widow loot bug is spread game wide now onto PC. So with this, when the game first came out, you had your 100% chance of getting your legendary sets. They had 3 perks. They then changed that to 100% chance to get your legendary sets with 2 perks, and then the developers were made aware, it was actually CD Phil on Reddit that was made aware of the fact there was a problem with the loot for Black Widow. Now he replied to that particular message in regards to the Widow loot, saying they had identified an issue and they would look to fix it. The very next patch we got, all the remaining characters, their loot actually reflected Widow, so it looks like they weren't up front about it, but it looks like the other characters were actually bugged and Widow was the only one who her loot was working as they intended. So the way it works now, just to be clear, when you do your elite content you have a chance of a legendary set item, but it is only a chance. The majority of your runs will just be epics, and if you do get that legendary set item then it will have 2 perks that are set and then 1 random perk. So they've really made so many changes in this, it's hard to keep track of it, but that's what's happening at the moment with it. So there's no bug on Widow, it looks like all the other characters were actually bugged. We then have a question about an old stat name. So someone's asking what's Fortitude as far as stat attributes are concerned. I noticed when looking at branded gear attributes under the Codex sub-menu and they're wondering what it actually is. Now we can tell from the stats that are actually missing in the list that Fortitude was or has been changed to Intensity. So they've changed the name of it and they've simply not changed some of the tooltips in game to reflect that. The next question here is in regards to the drop rates from the Mega Hives for exotics. So they're just saying, I thought weekly Mega Hive completion guaranteed 2 exotics, but I just completed it and I only got 1. Now looking back on the patch notes, it was patch 1.33. It does specifically say that you should be getting 2 exotics guaranteed when you actually run this. This does look like a bug, and to the user who actually got that, if you're watching this video, submit a ticket and fingers crossed we can get this fixed. Then have a question about the approximate release date of the Kate Bishop DLC. Now no one actually knows this, but I'll point out some relevant information to this. You had the Q&A between the community manager and Scott Amos, where Scott Amos said that she would be out before December the 31st. Now a few days later on the Crystal Dynamics site they actually done a roundup of this Q&A where almost all the answers that they'd written down reflected what Scott had said in the actual video, but when it came to the question about the Kate Bishop DLC they didn't include the December 31st part and they just simply said that she would be out soon. So I don't know if Scott has possibly misspoken. We still don't have even an approximate date, but I'm thinking from the way that the blog post corrected what he said that hopefully it won't be too long, and fingers crossed it will be November at the latest we get her. Then I have a question asking when the next war table will be. We don't have a specific date, but we've been told that it will be in November. And will this war table have a roadmap? From what I've actually seen when CD Phil, I've watched so many streams with these guys, but when CD Phil and the community manager were playing, it was just last week, they were actually playing do a Q&A. Phil did mention the fact that the roadmap is something they're working on. He's seen the infographic for it and it does look great, and I believe I've heard some rumblings as well that this war table will actually include the roadmap. We then have a question in regards to a toggle for skins, so you could toggle on such as glasses, hats and helmets. Now this was asked probably about 6 weeks or so ago, and it was on a Discord Q&A, and it was actually Phil that answered that again. He seems to do the majority of the communication on the game, but he just flat out said no to this. A lot of things he will actually say, I'll look into it, it's in the pipeline, coming soon, but for this it was just a flat out no, so I wouldn't get up your hopes at all about this. We have another question about the Mega Hive here. So this is, are there any plans to make Mega Hive replayable and or co-op? I've not heard anything in regards to it being replayable, but we have certainly heard that they are looking to make it a co-op version of the Mega Hive. Next up we have a more general question here. It's saying, what's considered the best way to bring your character to 130 and then to 150? Now you have a mission called Day of the Remains. I think generally everyone agrees that is the best level to actually go in and level up your characters and get gear and get comics and get all your various different resources as well. It's a nice short level. Basically you run this. Now when you actually complete a level, what happens is when you're getting gear during a level, you'll get a piece that's maybe 3 or 4 levels higher than you've got currently equipped. When you finish a level, you'll get a piece that's around about 8 to 10 levels higher, so that can get you to 130 really quick if you run a level that's nice and easy to finish, getting you that gear with the higher bonus. When it comes to getting to level 150 for your gear's actually got a soft cap of 130, it won't drop any higher than that. That's for your slots 1 to 4 and also your minor artifacts, so you'll only really upgrade perfect gear because it costs you upgrade modules and they're pretty difficult to get. That will get you to 140, and then from there you have your major artifact. Each upgrade on that actually is a flat power level, so that will get you the remaining 10 to get you up to 150. Next up we have a question on how stats work on exotic gear. So are they random each time, or do certain types such as Hive Mind or World Breaker or Planet Cracker only drop certain stats per piece? I can't seem to find an exotic range gear with Resolve and Resilience for Hulk. Now the exotics you get from the Mega Hives, the stats in them are actually fixed, so if in regards to the ranged one that you're actually talking about, that would only ever drop, it would be Precision and Proficiency. In regards to your Hive Mind and your Storm sets, and I believe you can get ultimate exotic items as well, but in regards to those 3 different sets, they will have random stats on them, and the perks are actually random to an extent as well. But when it comes to the Mega Hive, the stats, and when I actually think about it, the perks are all fixed on the gear that drops there. The next question we have is a nice and simple one here. It's, how do I lock my Warty Boat challenge free? I imagine that's for the daily challenges you get where you need to actually finish one at challenge free, and the short answer is you can actually do this at the moment. The next question here is in regards to cross-platform. So there's actually a few elements to this, because they're actually asking whether or not saves could actually be moved from one platform to another as well. Now to address the cross-platform first, they were asked this in the Q&A with Scott Amos, and he actually just kind of said stay tuned, so it sounds like it's something they are working on, and fingers crossed they are, because it would really help out the PC and the Stadia player base as well. In regards to transferring your saves, I would say this is not going to happen at all. The reason being, in the last stream we had, once again CD Phil comes to the rescue. He was talking about players that had actually lost their save files and was there any way to recover them, and he said just point blank there's no way to recover them, they don't hold that information. So the fact they don't hold that information would also tell you that they're not able to transfer it from one platform to another. This next question is one that I don't actually have an answer for, but I've got an anecdotal example here. So, was the exotic loot chance nerfed from Tachyon Rifts? I played over 40 Rifts and haven't got a single exotic. Now, the first 2 days that I actually played, got an exotic on the first attempt, and since then I've played a lot of times, I've not seen another one at all. So I'm pretty certain that it has been nerfed, but again, it's just anecdotal, I don't know for certain. But let me know in the comments below how your experience is. Did you have really good drop drop rates those first 2 days, and I believe there was a very small patch on the second day, and since then has your drop rate went way down. Next up here we have a question in regards to gear. I won't read out the full thing, but it's basically just asking, are we going to be getting any changes to improve gear? And CD Phil once again comes to the rescue. It was just a few days ago on Reddit he actually mentioned, he said that gear does need a lot of love at the moment, and they've got various different teams working on improving it. For the final question we have here, my question is, has any developer ever read, let alone answered, a bunch of questions in one of these threads on a Monday? I'm pretty sure they haven't, and that's the reason that I'm doing this video. But hopefully that's helped out. I know for people that follow the game religiously, a lot of these questions and answers were probably pretty obvious, but hopefully it's helped out anyway for players that maybe don't keep up to date as much. Now, there's not a lot to cover in game at the moment, that's why there's not a lot of videos on YouTube, but I'm doing streams around about 3 days a week on Twitch with the game, and I'm having a whole lot of fun, so I'll drop a link to the Twitch channel in the description below. But I hope this video has been helpful. Thanks for tuning in, stay safe, I'll see you all again soon.